Recently, there's been a lot of talk about Battlefield 2042 and how much it has improved since its initial launch. Many people have been praising it for its progress, and I can attest to that myself. As someone who has played the game for a while now, I have noted a significant improvement in the overall gameplay experience, and I think the developers have done a great job improving the game and addressing the criticisms they had at launch. It's still not a perfect game, far from it, but I'm having a ton of fun right now. I've been a big fan of the Battlefield franchise for years, so when Battlefield 2042 was released, I was excited to dive in and start playing. But after a few weeks of playing, I kept getting frustrated and bored with the game. The bugs and glitches, long waiting times to find a match, a limited amount of guns and maps, and bad map design were all contributing factors to my dissatisfaction with the game at launch. So I ended up uninstalling and taking a break from the game. I played other games, primarily Hell Let Loose, which I love. But the one type of game I felt was missing in my lineup was a modern or near future FPS shooter that I enjoyed. So throughout 2022, I would come back every couple months and still be disappointed with the state of the game. Finally, about a month or so ago, I decided to give Battlefield 2042 another chance, and I'm so glad I did because it finally feels like it's in a good place. Obviously, the developers have released a ton of updates that have fixed many of the bugs and issues that I was experiencing before. The game is in a state that I can finally sit down and enjoy the fast-paced action with hardly any frustrating interruptions. Honestly, my main gripe with the game at this point is that it's difficult to find a full balanced match later at night, but hopefully that can be fixed if more players come back and bring the player population up. Also, the new content that's been added since the game's release has made a significant difference. The new maps, along with the reworked maps, and weapons have added a lot more variety to the game, keeping it fresh and interesting. I love using the SPH explosive launcher, as I feel like I'm not particularly the best at getting into good position to use the C5 as well as I should. I know, skill issue, I admit it. But the SPH is so easy and fun to use since it's kind of just a noob tube that isn't overly annoying to be hit by. At least not in my experience. With that being said, there's still not that many guns. And yes, they added the vault weapons, which was nice. But they're missing a ton of the regular attachments, making them feel kinda hollow and unsatisfying to use at the moment. Season 5 is just around the corner, so I'm sure more guns will be added, but it probably won't be as many as I'd like if I'm being completely honest. The reworked maps in the game have helped a lot. The developers listened to feedback from the players and made sure that the reworked maps align closer to the players' expectations. Things like more cover between the points and better spacing throughout the maps were very much needed from how they launched. But this came at a detriment to new maps, as it took focus away from them and probably lowered how many new maps the developers can make throughout Battlefield 2042's lifecycle. Now I know I kinda listed a lot of issues that the game still has to work on, but overall, the changes and updates they've made to the game have been really good and has kept me playing non-stop since I came back a month or so ago. So I'm hoping they can keep this going through Season 5 and beyond, as it would be a huge shame if they stop supporting the game once they fulfilled the bare minimum of getting the game to the improved state that it is today. But for now, I'm going to keep playing and enjoying Battlefield 2042 while the good times last.